are going. We don't need roads.
And I know, you guys have read the title already. You guys have saw the clip at the beginning, and I know what you're already thinking before you even say it. Like, here comes another dude that's trying to tell me that we need to see a Cody Rhodes heel turn. Look, he just finished his story. He's going on a run as the WWE champion. Let him breathe. He's the most over face in WWE right now. He's top seller in merchandise. The guy's on podcasts. The guy's doing great press. The guy's doing all of these things. Like, let him breathe. Like, don't you see, like, what you did with John Cena? You guys forced him into trying to be a heel again, and then you forced him to be like this weird tweener, and then it just didn't work because the crowd was rejecting him. And just, like, let him breathe. Don't turn Cody into John Cena. For the love of God, just let him be the top face and let it be. I get it. I get all of that. That all makes sense, and I'm totally with you guys on that. I am only here specifically to be a little contrarian and kind of push off on an idea that I've been thinking about, and I know a lot of people have been thinking about, even you guys that are pushing back and saying, hey, leave him alone, let him be a top face, the guy's revered. But listen, just listen, just take a minute. By the end of this video, if you still want to shit on the idea of him going heel, I'm totally cool with it. And mind you, I'm not asking him to turn heel tomorrow. I'm not asking him to turn heel at Crown Jewel or at the next PLE or the next SmackDown. I'm simply gonna put this out there in the universe. I just want to speak about this because I think it's interesting and I think it is intriguing. And if you look at the way that things are playing out, look, WWE has been doing some very unique things with the way that they're setting up storylines, and I think it all stems from trying to just a different way of doing things, not going the Attitude Era route, not going the Ruthless Aggression era, or the PG era, or just really trying new shit and seeing what happens, like seeing what they can do, right? And one of the things that I noticed was when they did the backstage camera footage of Rhodes and Kevin Owens. That's when it all started to really, my gears started going creatively. And I'm not going to fantasy book too much here, but you know I like to do the fantasy booking. So anyways, I'll get to it. Now look, humans are pattern recognizing machines. That's how we are. And I noticed a pattern developing here with Cody Rhodes' character that all roads could lead, and pun intended, all roads could lead to an eventual darker side. That's all I'm saying. And I could be wrong. But I'm looking at how Cody Rhodes comes off to the fans and how I'm seeing less relatability from him. It's seemingly the antithesis of what Dusty Rhodes was in his heyday. You know, for those that don't remember, or for those that weren't even born at that time, or for those that are watching videos and it's really not translating for you, Dusty Rhodes was the working man's working man. He would show up in pickup trucks. He had a few beers at the local pub and flirted with the cocktail waitresses. Like, I mean, dude, in the 90s, he was with Sapphire. He made polka dots work. You know, you gave him whatever. He didn't have to come out in the suits and all that. He wasn't dressed to the nines. He wasn't, in shape, ultra in shape. He had a gift of the gab. He had a way to talk, and he had a way to be charismatic in a wrestling ring, right? Now, Cody Rhodes, he rides in a tour bus and drinks expensive vodka and wears nice suits. Like, and you know, a lot of people say, like, Dusty Rhodes walked so that Cody Rhodes could run. And that very well may be true. I mean, you look at Dustin Rhodes. Dustin Rhodes had to be the most flamboyant character in the world to kind of step out of his dad's shoes. Cody Rhodes is probably being exactly what Dusty Rhodes hoped to be for all those years working hard as a professional wrestler. In nice suits, the Armani, the Ric Flair, styling and profiling. Well, Cody Rhodes is doing all of that and then some. The only way for the fans to turn on Cody, though, would be if they recognized a new American dream in a WWE superstar. And by American dream being someone that is relatable, somebody that they see themselves as, that they hope to be. Now, Cody should be coming off that way, but he just doesn't. And it's interesting to me. I'm noticing it. I'm sure fans are noticing it. I know that there are content creators, there are former professional wrestlers, current professional wrestlers, there are journalists that I'm sure see that as well in his promos, in the way that he talks. He's a nice guy, he's very approachable, he talks to everybody, but he's coming across as a politician. So I think that a new American dream showing up in the WWE, somebody that the fans can relate to and go, that's the guy that I see myself as. That's the guy that I feel like is totally representing me and my plight. That might very well be the thing that brings out the darkness that's suppressed within the character of the American Nightmare. And it's all in the nickname, the American Nightmare. This isn't a dream. This will eventually become a nightmare, and it's only a matter of time. It is only a matter of time. And I've watched many videos. I've seen many things on Cody Rhodes and where I feel like he might be going, and he's even talked about it in videos where he talks about being if you really want to see me being heel, I'm gonna go scorched earth. I feel like that was foreshadowing like never done before. And now we've seen a full, where are we at? April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. We're about 7 months into Cody Rhodes' title reign. And it's kind of been like they don't really know what to do now that he's gotten to finish his story. They've closed the book essentially, and they barely wrote the new book. This new book hasn't even been able to be cracked open. He's helping Roman Reigns bridge to getting his storyline with the Rogue Bloodline going. He's losing his best friends. You know, he's getting the bloodline back together, and he's losing all of his best friends. All of his friends are leaving him. Like he's forgetting the people, like what's important. He's lost in this championship run. That's just my opinion, what I'm seeing, and I think it's happening more and more and more. It's like Spider-Man when he found the symbiote suit, the black symbiote suit, and he was close to becoming like Venom. It's like when he speaks on the mic, Cody Rhodes, it's like he's running for office. It's like he's trying to convince us that he is for us, and that is turning the fans against him. Notoriously, no one in WWE booking or in wrestling booking period has ever understood how to sustain a babyface run from a babyface after the babyface gains that which they are fighting for. They don't know what to do after that. The guy gets the world title, position monsters to try and take it from him, and after a while, fans peep the formula and they start to lose interest. It's just the way it goes. It is in the chase where the good guy gets the most fan response. They want to see him win. And in Cody's case, where he's at right now, they wanted to see him finish the story. And now that that book has been written, the new story is loss of adulation and lack of relatability. Even though it's not even been written yet, but I believe this book is being written. And it's the scariest book yet. The American Nightmare becomes a nightmare and goes against the newest American dream. That is the new book. And it has yet to be written. But oh, trust me, it's coming. Because there is no greater threat to Cody Rhodes' success than for a commoner, an everyday man, to wrestle the fans away from him. That right there, that is going to be an interesting story. And I'm wondering if the genesis of this was the camera footage of Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens backstage incident that wasn't picked up by WWE cameras. And I believe that right there, that's an important part to pick up on. Because if they were to release that footage, I wonder what they would see. I'm wondering if it would be a good idea if it came out that it was Rhodes that he was the one that initiated the attack by saying something disrespectful to Kevin Owens that gets him to snap. And this whole time it's been corporate Cody that's been trying to keep Kevin Owens away because he doesn't want to get that out. It would look bad for his image. And Triple H obliges because that's his number one guy. See, it was very obvious when Triple H took Seth Rollins under his wing. all beloved, doing the right things. Cody Rhodes may be under the corporate wing, and they may be exploiting this. One of the things that I noticed when Cody Rhodes and CM Punk left the AEW and they went to the WWE, one thing that I did notice was that it was like they were still working on their stories. Like their stories somehow were reset, and they tried to continue and play them out in the WWE. Just a different way. CM Punk's story coming back to the WWE, almost very similar to when he was in the AEW. Just it's now playing out just a little bit different. Different characters involved. It's the same story. Same with Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes wanted to finish his story in AEW. He never got a chance to finish his story and win the world championship in the AEW. And you best believe that was going to be a story. He was going to win the World Heavyweight Championship, probably from someone like an MJF. And he was going to finish his story. That never got to happen. So he finished his story in the WWE at WrestleMania. One thing that we didn't account for was the fact that at that time, fans were starting to turn on Cody. And maybe he wasn't like, this is too soon. You guys are doing it too soon. Maybe they picked up on it faster than they were supposed to, and it forced him to kind of like switch and pivot. So he learned from those mistakes, and now in WWE, he doesn't have to switch and pivot because fans are slow to pick up on these little nuances. And maybe what we're seeing is the start of that. Maybe Kevin Owens is the guy that's going around screaming like, Cody is not who you think he is. And maybe he's going to try and convince Randy Orton as well. And maybe for a while, Kevin Owens, and maybe eventually Randy Orton as well, will look like the bad guys. But after this all pays off, after all this plays out, we all might be able to see that, man, maybe Kevin Owens and Randy Orton were onto something. Maybe this guy really isn't who we think he is. Hiding the footage, making sure that it doesn't get out, using his position. The fact that he's on the top of the WWE to kind of tuck this dirt under, really be a politician. I find that fascinating. I find it intriguing. I think they can go so many ways with a story like that. I don't know if we're ready for it. But eventually, if they let this play out, this could take over the Bloodline as the top storyline in the WWE. This could put Cody Rhodes above and beyond everything else that's going on in the WWE, something that he's not doing right now. And you can argue that. Cody Rhodes is not the talk of the WWE. I believe it's the Bloodline that is the talk of the WWE. And even before SummerSlam, it was arguably, it was the Bloodline, CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan, Cody Rhodes. I mean, arguably, we can debate, but I would say he was probably the most, like the fourth talked about thing in the WWE at that time. So to get back up into the top of being the talk of the WWE, to being on the top, to having the top storyline, to being number one, I think this storyline could do it. And like I said, I'm really, really trying not to come across like I want this to happen right away. I think the WWE has been very patient. I think the WWE has been very detail-oriented and letting things play out for as long as they can, so it means more when it actually happens, and not pull the trigger and go and be too hasty with what's going on. I mean, arguably, you're seeing the Bloodline reunite a little bit faster than I would have wanted, but it's happening and it's actually working. They're doing a good job with that. I think when Roman Reigns comes out and says yeet, the roof is going to blow off of that building. So I do think that sometimes they move things a little bit faster, but they still stretch it out just long enough for it to feel like it's a little bit smooth in the transition. And I feel like with this Cody Rhodes thing, let this thing play out. Let it play out. But eventually, Cody Rhodes is going to be a heel. It's inevitable. They're not going to John Cena this guy at all. It's only a matter of time. If it were to happen, I'm just saying, maybe we saw the genesis with that backstage footage. And maybe if that footage is released, we might hear Cody Rhodes say something really mean about Kevin Owens that sets Kevin Owens off. He attacks Cody Rhodes, and he's been being silenced and pushed away ever since. And if that were the case, I think you have one of the most unique and interesting stories that WWE has ever done. Just my thoughts. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think? I know I'm being too hasty. I know it's too soon. Let this play out. Give Cody a chance to be at the top. I'm not saying it happens right away, but I'm saying if it were to start happening, let's get the ball rolling and start it and let it play out over the next 2 years. That's all I'm saying. I mean, it was interesting. The final boss shows up after WrestleMania and he shakes Cody Rhodes' hand. It's pretty interesting there. Just pretty interesting. I'm just going to say, hey, I'm just going to throw it out there. But we'll see what happens. You guys let me know what you think. Do you think this story would actually be a good idea? Do you think Cody Rhodes, what's your story for Cody Rhodes heel turn? If you don't think that was a good story, where do you think Cody Rhodes heel turn lies? Where do you think his path is? Where do you think it starts? And who do you think it starts with? On top of that, who do you think, if there were to be an American Dream-esque WWE superstar coming from NXT or coming from anywhere, who do you think it would be? Would it be somebody like a Kevin Owens, who I feel like fits that to a T, to be honest with you, or maybe a Sami Zayn even that fits that to a T, or it could be a younger guy that's coming up into prominence in the WWE that we don't even expect. You guys let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear where you guys are going with this. I'd like to do another video on this soon, not just about Cody Rhodes, but about another storyline that I've been seeing kind of play out that hasn't really been talked about, and I'd love to talk to you guys about it. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thumbs up on the way out gets the, algorithm going in my favor and everything. Until then, it's been the Wrestling Old Head. You have entered the portal of pro wrestling. Stay tuned for more.